with information on WrestleMania 40 and more. This is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Giving praise to current WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther, The Undertaker said this on his 6 Feet Under podcast. I really like him. I think the sky is the limit for him. I think he's a little bit of a throwback to a different era, but has the ability to work and tell stories. I mean, he just had that match with Dominic Mysterio, which is tough. A heel versus a heel is a tough match when somebody doesn't turn. He kept Dominic a heel, and he kept himself a heel, and I'm really, really high on him. But yeah, we would probably fist fight about 2 chops in. Asked about a potential induction into the WWE Hall of Fame for the Wyatt family, former member of the stable ERICK Rowan told Counted Out, no. I mean, I'm always surprised when I feel a faction touch people's lives. I've seen how John's impacted people's lives. I see how Wyndham's impacted people's lives. So just for people to say it, it's humbling to know that they made such a lasting impact on people. I wouldn't even begin to think about it who would induct us. It's so soon since everything with the passings, and to even think about something like that is just ridiculous to me. But I'm holding a tiny microphone talking to you about this. I feel ridiculous in that sense as well. So it's just not something that really crossed my mind. Going over previous plans that WWE had to use Megan Thee Stallion with Mercedes MONE, former WWE star Mojo Rawley said on the Power Alphas podcast, "We went out there for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Mercedes MONE is a massive anime fan, so we were trying to find something for her in that world, and Crunchyroll is essentially the Netflix of anime. I had no idea the world out there, the scope of the anime community. We got Mercedes on. She's going to be doing some exciting work with Crunchyroll. One of the things was to go to their anime awards and be a presenter. Megan Thee Stallion was there. She was sitting at the table next to us. I didn't realize, but I guess she was going to do something with Mercedes at WWE SummerSlam in years previous, and it just never materialized and fell through for one reason or another. We all know how those situations can go, and they get crazy. She was cool. She is tall. I didn't realize how tall she was. That was the first thing she said. She stood up. Y'all didn't realize how tall your girl was. I was like, nope, I definitely didn't." Touching on the promo that Cody Rhodes cut on Raw in response to The Rock, Bully Ray said on Busted Open Radio, "Here's the reason I'm giving it a 5. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, it was right in the middle. You have an uber babyface cutting a promo days after The Rock talked about his mother, and the only thing you can tell me is that you liked the curses? Not good if you're the babyface. I understand that he said some things about Cody's mom, but the crowd loved it. A-hole? Pass. Bitch? Pass. Roman side chick? Okay, whatever. And then little dick syndrome? If the only thing that Cody would have said was LDS? If LDS was the only thing that he said, okay, maybe." Criticizing AEW for their low viewer count for the Dynamite Big Business show, which featured Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, and the debut of Mercedes MONE. Eric Bischoff noted on his Strictly Business podcast, "Same thing here with Mercedes. I mean, 800,000 viewers in the show, where you're bringing in arguably one of the more recognizable female stars in the wrestling industry, who spent, I don't know how many years, a decade at a high-profile position within the largest wrestling company in the world, and you bring her into AEW and you get 800,000 viewers? And I know, Dave Meltzer immediately went, well, they didn't advertise her, that's why. BS. Who are you kidding? If there was anybody who was a wrestling fan or a fan of AEW who didn't know that Mercedes was going to make her debut in Boston, then I don't know what to tell you. If people like Dave want to believe that, there's nothing that I'm going to say that's going to change anything for them, because they're stuck in a rut, in a small way of thinking, and nothing is ever going to change for them. But the numbers don't lie. 800,000 viewers for Mercedes Moné? I don't know. And I know everybody's all, well, wait till next week. Now that everybody knows, I have news for you folks. If that number moves 3 to 5% either way, plus or minus, I'll be surprised. I said it 6 months ago when the rumors started floating around about Mercedes going to AEW, and the question was, oh, do you think you'll have any impact? And my answer was, no, it won't. Just like no one else that's come from WWE has made an impact on the ratings. It's not the talent. After being on the receiving end of backlash for wearing an Ole Anderson shirt, NXT star Brooks Jensen wrote on X, "Guys, after everything that has happened, I'm gonna take a break from social media. Just gotta think on some stuff. Thank you for the love and support." Recalling how his interactions with his father were following his decision to become a pro wrestler, The Rock said this on Artist Friendly. "There was that dynamic of young Buck's son getting into the business. How was he going to do it? I told him, I think I want to do this. I think I have some talent. I don't know. Maybe I'll suck. But I feel I have a passion for this. He was so adamantly against me getting into pro wrestling. He's like, you don't know if you have anything to offer. I don't want you to live like this. I live in an apartment that I can't afford in Tampa, Florida for $500 a month. I don't want this for you." We clashed. At the time, I didn't have the emotional tools to realize that's love, Dad. Thank you. I love you. I still have to make my path. I didn't have that. I was like, what the F are you talking about? It's my life. We just clashed for a long time. I wish I reconciled. We got into this huge fight Christmas 2019. It was awful. One of the biggest fights we ever got into about some stupid About a month later, he passed away. We weren't talking. When my dad passed away, I felt like all the dumb we were arguing about, it didn't matter. Speaking about the negotiations for his WWE return, Shawn Spears told Fightful, "I think it kind of goes back to the respect and the mutual respect and the contacts that I have made over the course of a pretty lengthy career. I had a few friends that still work in WWE and have kept in touch with them all throughout the years that when it started getting floated out there that I was leaving my previous stop, then it was more about, well, what do you want to do next? Did you want to come back? Do you want us to reach out?" Everybody was offering a helping hand, so to speak. Eventually, what it boiled down to was me just, after having conversations with my wife and weighing out what was best for us timing-wise, I reached out. And thankfully there was a possibility there. That's the thing. You said a year ago, there's nothing happening. A year ago, no one's getting hired. This business, and you probably know better than anybody else, it changes almost daily. It's ever evolving. It's fast, and when we're talking about the biggest company in the world, when we're talking about WWE, who is beyond global, to the point we're talking universe, it is a massive company. It is a massive, fast machine. So things are going to change and business takes precedent. So if there's an opportunity or a star like a Cody Rhodes available, you're going to take him. A star like Jade, you're going to take her. It's just good business. Even Lexis King, who you mentioned, there's a big difference between a Lexis King now and Brian Pillman that you've seen before. A lot of it is just the big WWE machine that has a wonderful history of making superstars. So yeah, it came about rather quick and happily quickly. It's an ever-changing business and you never know who's going to pop up when. That's the biggest thing I was happy about, is that we were able to keep things pretty quiet until we unleashed it in NXT. Giving information regarding planned announcements for WrestleMania 40, WrestleVotes noted, the indication from sources suggest we'll see up to 4 more WrestleMania matches announced for the event. As of now, the working plan is to feature 7 matches per night on the main card. Talking about Mercedes Moné during an interview on NBC Boston, AEW President Tony Khan said, "Mercedes is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. She is going to help bring in new audiences from all over the world. Not only is she going to come in as one of the faces of AEW, one of the top stars, but she's also one of the best wrestlers, one of the most charismatic people, somebody who loves wrestling. Mercedes is not only someone who loves the wrestling business, loves getting in the ring and wrestling, but loves the fans. That's what we're all about in AEW, and that's why Mercedes is perfect to be the face of AEW. During a vlog on his YouTube channel, Sammy Guevara, who is currently suspended from AEW, expressed gratitude towards his fans as he said, "To the people who support me, whether it be at the beginning or in the beginning, in the middle, or maybe this is your first video you've watched of mine, I just want to say thank you. I understand that I am a person who has made mistakes, but I am also a person who has tried to be better. Roll with the punches is a saying that I truly understand now at 30 years old. Life will throw a lot at you, but it's how you deal with those adversities that make you who you are. I know who I am, and I know what I'm going after. See you at the top." Talking about his future in pro wrestling, Jeff Jarrett mentioned this on his My World podcast. Honestly, I have not. I truly don't. We've said this rewind to even 2018 when I did the Royal Rumble and did a couple of things before I went into my full time with those guys. I even thought in my head, I thought, okay, that's probably it. Maybe a cameo here and there, but I thought that's 6 years ago. It's crazy. So I would have never dreamed. Ric Flair's last match, how all that rolled out, would have never dreamed that. So I definitely have no idea. Don't give it any thought. I used to take things 1 year at a time. Now I just kind of take it a day at a time. I'm enjoying the hell out of what I'm doing. I think we, the group, it is an unusual group that has a dynamic that I've really never been a part of. Satnam, he is truly one in a billion, and Jay's skill set, Karen's skill set, Sanjay's skill set, it's a unique package. We can be in a single, you can take any three of us. Jay was in the Continental Classic tournament just fine. You can take Satnam and give him a single run. You can give me the one-offs like I've done against Orange Cassidy or the Texas Chainsaw. You can tag me and Jay up, and I think you can tag me and Satnam up, or Jay and Satnam up, and let me manage. Just the climate in 2024, I think we're diverse and can plug and play just about anywhere. We did a Flaming Tables match on Collision, so no, I really don't give it any thought. Reacting to WWE acknowledging Sting's recent retirement match, The Undertaker said this on his 6 Feet Under podcast. "There are certain individuals within the industry. We're in competition with a different company. I understand that, but Sting's legacy transcends AEW or any other organization. He deserved that recognition. I'm glad that, as a company, WWE acknowledged it. It's only fitting. The whole AEW-WWE dynamic is akin to politics. You're either red or blue, conservative or liberal, but most people are wrestling fans, and they recognize Sting as a true icon in the wrestling industry." Mentioning that he was invited for the Dark Side of the Ring episode on Buff Bagwell, Booker T noted on his Hall of Fame podcast, "Dark Side of the Ring reached out to me to be a part of some of these series and episodes, but I declined because anything that happened with Buff Bagwell and anything I have to say about Buff Bagwell, it's private. It's something that's internal, something that he and I know, and I'm not going to expose it or put it out there. I don't think the world really needs to know what happened with Bagwell and that night. The way it's written is the way it's going to be told from here on out. I won't have anything to say about it." Speaking about the alterations to the management side of TNA Wrestling, likely referring to Scott D'Amore's removal by parent company Anthem as president of TNA, RHYNO said this to Monopoly Events. "It sucks that there's a change in management. It's unfortunate, but sometimes in life, as a veteran in wrestling, you have to be a leader in the locker room. It's like, okay, let's see how this thing rolls out with new management, and let's put our best foot forward, and let's do what we do and kick ass. Sometimes people don't like change, but sometimes you have to embrace and then see where it takes you. And then if it's not for you, just move on. Hopefully for the wrestling business, it continues to move forward because a lot of good wrestling promotions out there are good for the wrestling business." making the case for him to receive a United States title shot. DIJAK posted this clip to X.
Okay, guess what time it is? That's right. It's prime time. I got hit up in a DM, a direct message from the Prime Instagram team. They said, DIJAK, all caps, thank you for respecting the full caps, DIJAK. Prime has a new deal with WWE. We'd love to send you a celebratory package. Sorry, I only have one hand, Frey, this is difficult. And so I told them, you know what? There's nothing that I love more than Prime Glowberry, but I can't find it on store shelves. They said, don't worry, we got you. And boy, did they ever, because they sent me a whole stack of Glowberry, and they also sent me this Tropical Punch energy drink, which I've never had, and a cool little bottle to put it in. So you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it in. Big shout out to my legit close personal friend, Logan Paul. We've never exchanged a word, but you've walked by me a couple times. Thanks for this. Big shout out to my legit close personal friend, KSI. Also never even seen you in person, but I'm sure you're an amazing guy. I'm really struggling with opening this stuff with one hand. Borderline impossible, but you know what? My name's DIJAK, so I'm gonna do it. That one's open. This will be way easier. Hold on. Boom. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and put some Glowberry in here. Yup. We're gonna go ahead and mix some Tropical Punch in there. Is it gonna fit? Sure did. Throw on the cap. Swirl it around. Company guy. Look at the cool thing in the back. Company guy. Yup. Delicious. Thanks, guys.
Addressing the recent New Japan Pro Wrestling run of Jack Perry, AEW President Tony Khan told Comic Book Nation's Liam Crowley, I think you gotta stay tuned to see if what Jack Perry is doing in NJPW will be brought to AEW. Absolutely, Jack's doing great things in New Japan. The New Japan Cup, he's had a great run. He's established himself over there. He feels he's the scapegoat, but he's doing great things and he's wrestling for a great promotion, and it's been great tracking Jack's progress in New Japan, and I think he's done excellent work there. Touching on an injury to a WWE personality, it was said that former NWA champion and current SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis was recently injured and is expected to undergo surgery on his arm. PWInsider.com has learned from multiple WWE sources. The belief among some is that the injury may be a torn bicep. Aldis confirmed this on X, writing, "Yes, I just got out of surgery for a ruptured bicep tendon, and yes, the sheets had it within minutes. God bless him. Must be a slow news day. Anyway, it was a freak accident. I'm on the mend, and I will continue to fulfill my obligations." It appears as though MAURO RANALLO, who has called WWE boxing and MMA matches, could be returning to commentary for pro wrestling. As Ringside News wrote that after a notable absence from the pro wrestling scene, RANALLO could be on the verge of making a comeback. Reports from Fightful Select indicate that Major League Wrestling has been engaged in discussions with RANALLO regarding a possible collaboration. While no agreement has been finalized, there appears to be genuine interest from MLW in bringing RANALLO on board. This interest stems from RANALLO's previous collaborations with MLW owner Court Bauer on a Strike Force project, establishing a foundation for potential future endeavors. For details on a recent departure from WWE, Ringside News wrote that in the midst of ongoing organizational changes within WWE, a key figure with a long-standing tenure has bid farewell to the company. According to PW Insider, John Porco, who served as the executive vice president of live events for WWE, departed from his role last month. His exit marks the end of an era for WWE, as Porco had been an integral part of the company for decades. Porco's journey with WWE began in June 1999 when he joined as a public relations coordinator. Over the years, he steadily ascended through the ranks, showcasing his dedication and expertise. In 2002, he transitioned to the live events department, assuming the position of director of marketing. Throughout his tenure, Porco played a pivotal role in shaping WWE's live event strategy and marketing efforts. In recognition of his contributions, Porco continued to climb the corporate ladder, eventually attaining the role of Senior Vice President of Live Events Marketing in 2022. His wealth of experience and leadership acumen have left an incredible mark on WWE's live events division. Following Porco's departure, Justin Scalise, the Senior Vice President of Live Event Marketing, has been appointed to succeed him in overseeing WWE's live events operations. With his proven track record and deep understanding of the industry, Scalise is poised to step into this pivotal role seamlessly. The news of Porco's exit comes amidst a period of significant transformation for WWE, characterized by notable shifts in leadership and strategic direction. As the company continues to evolve in the ever-changing landscape of sports entertainment, Porco's departure signals both the end of an era and the dawn of a new chapter for WWE. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.